Ever wondered why men come back after no contact? It's a question that has puzzled many. Is it a case of absence makes the heart grow fonder, or is there something more complex at play? This video will delve into the intriguing psychological aspects behind this behavior. We'll explore everything from the role of ego to the fear of loss, offering a comprehensive look into this fascinating topic. So, let's unravel the mystery behind men's return after no contact. Firstly, understand that the mind works in mysterious ways. It's like an enigmatic piece of art, open to interpretation and ever-changing. When it comes to relationships and the concept of no contact, the mind's workings become even more intriguing. You've probably heard the saying, out of sight, out of mind. It suggests that we forget about things or people that aren't directly in front of us. But when it comes to matters of the heart, this adage doesn't always hold true. In fact, the opposite often happens. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself thinking more about a person when they're not around? Their absence somehow makes them more present in your mind. This is a fascinating psychological phenomenon. This brings us to a powerful psychological principle known as reactance. Reactance is essentially our response to restrictions placed on our freedoms. When we're told we can't have something, we naturally want it even more. This principle comes into play when you go no contact with a man. Suddenly he can't have you, and this makes you more desirable in his eyes. Absence can indeed make the heart grow fonder. Your absence creates a void, a space for curiosity to creep in. It creates a sense of mystery and intrigue. The man starts to wonder about you, about what you're doing, who you're with, how you're feeling. His mind starts painting a picture of you, and this picture is often rosier than reality. You become a challenge, a puzzle to be solved, a prize to be won. Remember, humans are naturally drawn to things that are just out of reach. The fruit that's highest up in the tree always seems the sweetest, doesn't it? So when you're out of the picture, you might just become the picture. The image of you in his mind becomes more captivating, more alluring, and ultimately more irresistible. And that, dear listeners, is the intriguing psychology behind no contact. Another key factor at play here is the male ego. Now, this isn't to say that every man is driven by his ego, but it's an undeniable part of human nature that many of us, regardless of gender, have a desire to win and be the best. This is a trait that's often magnified in men due to societal expectations and norms. So when there's a break in contact, it can sometimes be perceived not just as a loss, but as a challenge. The ego doesn't like to lose, and it certainly doesn't like to be challenged. It's this competitive nature that can drive a man to want to win you back. You see, in the world of the ego, there's no such thing as a graceful exit. A loss is unacceptable, and so the ego will push for a win, even if it means returning after no contact. Remember, for some, the game isn't over until they say it's over. Lastly, let's touch on the fear of loss. It's a universal emotion that we all experience. Fear of losing something precious can be a powerful driver, compelling us to act in ways we never imagined. Now let's consider how this plays out in the context of a relationship. Imagine a man who's been in a relationship for a while. The routine, the familiarity, it all becomes so normal that he may take it for granted. But then, suddenly, there's a break in contact. It's like a silent alarm bell ringing in his mind, making him realize the value of what he might lose. This break, this silence, it can act as a wake-up call. It can make him ponder over the relationship's worth, the companionship, the shared memories, all of which he stands to lose. And this fear, this realization can trigger him to return, to make amends, to re-establish the bond. Indeed, sometimes people don't know what they have until it's gone. So, why do men come back after no contact? The answer lies in the subtle dance of psychology. We've explored the principle of reactance, an innate human tendency to reclaim our freedoms when they're threatened. We've also touched on the role of the male ego, a potent force that often pushes men to re-establish connections they've lost. Lastly, we delved into the fear of loss, a powerful motivator that can stir a man to action. In the end, remember, every person and situation is unique, but understanding these psychological aspects can help shed some light on this puzzling behavior.